Game 6 was supposed to be the end. The top-seeded Thunder were ready to move on, but the Denver Nuggets had other plans. With their backs against the wall, the Nuggets didn't just survive, they fought like champions. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray combined for 54 points, leading a relentless Denver attack that refused to back down. A sick Jamal Murray, a banged-up Michael Porter Jr., and yet, here we are. The best two words in sport, Game 7. On a high-stakes Thursday night in Denver, with elimination looming and critics whispering doubts, the Nuggets took the court against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 seed in the West. The final score, 119-107. Series now tied 3-3. Next stop, Oklahoma City, for the chance to move on to the Western Conference Finals to face the Minnesota Timberwolves. As usual for the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic was the centerpiece of everything. After struggling in games 2 through 4, by his standards at least, the 3-time MVP reminded everyone why he's one of the most dominant forces the league has ever seen. And this time, he didn't do it alone. The Nuggets got production from everywhere. Murray, despite being sick, looked every bit like the guy who's made his name as a playoff killer. Christian Braun, career night. Julian Strawther, spark plug off the bench. And even Michael Porter Jr., battling a shoulder injury, hit timely shots when Denver needed them most. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The Denver Nuggets aren't going down quietly. In fact, since Nikola Jokic joined the team, the Nuggets are 4-2 in Game 7s. And now they're heading into another one with momentum and belief. Nikola Jokic heard the noise, the criticisms, the questions, the whispers that maybe, just maybe, the Oklahoma City Thunder had figured him out. In games 2 through 4, Jokic wasn't himself. He looked a step slow. He struggled with OKC's length and aggression. His usual precision passing looked rushed. And most of all, the efficiency just wasn't there. But that version of Jokic, that one's gone. Because the Nikola Jokic we saw in Game 6, that was the MVP. After dropping 44 points in a losing effort in Game 5, Jokic entered Game 6 with one mindset: win or go home. And he responded with a near triple-double: 29 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, and one of the most composed, clinical performances we've seen from him all season. He picked the Thunder apart, not by overpowering them, but by making the right play every single time. Double him, he found the open shooter. Sag off, that soft mid-range touch was automatic. Attack the rim, he made it look effortless. This wasn't just about the numbers, it was control, it was poise. Jokic dictated the tempo of the game from the opening tip. And the most important thing, he didn't press. He didn't try to force another 40-point game. He trusted his teammates, and they delivered. But make no mistake, Jokic was the engine, the eye of the storm. When the game started to get tight in the third quarter, it was Jokic who calmed things down. It was Jokic who made the pass before the assist, who sealed his man in the post, who grabbed the tough rebound in traffic. It's easy to forget sometimes, because he doesn't scream, he doesn't flex, he doesn't chase the spotlight. But this was Jokic sending a message. You can slow him down for a game, maybe 2, but not in an elimination scenario, not with his team on the ropes. And now, the Nuggets go into Game 7 with the most dependable superstar in basketball playing his best. By now, we really should stop being surprised by Jamal Murray. Hours before Game 6 tip-off, Murray wasn't even a lock to play. He had been listed as questionable with an illness. And even Denver's interim coach, David Adelman, admitted he's definitely sick. Some guys would sit that one out, some guys would play through it and go through the motions. But Jamal Murray, he doesn't do ordinary, not in the playoffs. Just 45 minutes before tip-off, he was cleared to play. And when the lights came on, so did Murray. He finished with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. And it wasn't just the stat line, it was the timing of his buckets. When Denver needed a steadying force, when OKC tried to cut into the lead, when the crowd needed something to rally behind, Murray delivered. Floaters in the lane, step backs off the dribble, swing passes that found open shooters in rhythm. And here's the thing, this isn't new. According to ESPN research, Denver is now 9-3 in games where Murray plays and the Nuggets are facing elimination. His averages in those 12 elimination games, 27.8 points and 5.2 assists. In the playoffs, this guy doesn't flinch, he rises. Murray has built a postseason reputation on moments like this. The 50-point duels in the bubble, the clutch shots during Denver's title run, and now this, battling an illness to push his team to the brink of another Western Conference Finals appearance. What separates Murray is that he's never overwhelmed by the moment. He thrives in it. When Jokic draws attention, Murray punishes defenders off the catch or with off-ball cuts. When the offense stalls, he can take over for a few possessions and settle things down. And when he doesn't have it physically, like tonight, he digs deeper. This was never just Jokic's team. It's Jokic and Murray, the two-man game that breaks defenses. And when they're both on, Denver is nearly impossible to beat. Now, superstars win you games, but role players, they win you series. And in Game 6, the Denver Nuggets supporting cast didn't just show up, they made history. Let's start with Christian Braun. The 24-year-old forward had what can only be described as his breakout playoff performance. 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. That's not just a good night, that's a rare night. According to OptaStats, Braun, along with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, became part of a trio to each post 20-plus points, 8-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists in a playoff game. The last time a trio did that, you'd have to go all the way back to 1966, when John Havlicek, Sam Jones, and Bill Russell all suited up for the Boston Celtics. Think about that. It's been nearly 60 years. Braun was everywhere, chasing loose balls, finishing on the break, knocking down tough jumpers, and battling for rebounds like the season depended on it. Because, well, it did. And then there's Julian Strawther. You might not have expected much from him coming in, but with the Nuggets struggling for a spark midway through the third quarter, Strawther delivered. 15 points in just under 20 minutes, all in the second half. Every time OKC looked like they might close the gap, Strawther found space and made a shot. His confidence was contagious. He didn't just score, he changed the energy of the game. This is what makes Denver so dangerous. You can game plan for Jokic. You can prepare for Murray. But then Braun gets hot. Strawther comes in fearless. Porter hits a big three. Speaking of which, let's not overlook Michael Porter Jr. Yes, he's been limited all series. A shoulder injury has clearly affected his rhythm and lift. But in Game 6, when the Nuggets needed him, he hit just enough. 10 points on 4 of 9 shooting, including 2 big threes that swung momentum. They weren't highlight plays, but they were winning plays. Denver's depth is always questionable, but in Game 6, they were the difference. In contrast, Oklahoma City's bench couldn't match the production or intensity, and that's a big reason why this series is going to 7. If there was any doubt about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being a legitimate superstar, Game 6 helped put that to rest. He did what stars are supposed to do when everything is on the line. He showed up. 32 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, attacking the paint, hitting contested shots, and creating offense out of nothing. Shai kept OKC within striking distance all night. When Denver tried to run away with it, it was Shai who responded. And he did it with that kind of poise and control you would expect from a seasoned vet, not someone still in the early stages of their prime. But one player can only do so much, because while Shai was rising to the moment, Jalen Williams, the Thunder's versatile, do-it-all forward, continued to struggle. And that might be the single biggest concern for OKC heading into Game 7. J-Dub shot just 3 of 16 from the field, finishing with only 6 points. He did add 10 assists and 7 rebounds, but the shooting slump is real, and it's getting worse. Over the last 3 games, Williams is 10 of 43 from the floor. That's barely 23%. In a series this tight, that kind of drop-off from your number 2 guy can swing everything, especially when Denver's role players are exceeding expectations. You can see the effort. He's playing hard. He's getting to his spots, but the shots just aren't falling. And Denver's defense has made sure he feels every bit of pressure when he catches the ball. The Thunder also didn't get much from their supporting cast. Yes, Chet Holmgren had his best game of the series, 19 points on 8 of 14 shooting, 11 rebounds, and his presence inside, even with just 1 block, still altered how Denver attacked the rim. But aside from Shai and Chet, OKC's bench was almost silent. This game wasn't lost because Shai didn't show up, it was because he didn't get enough help. If Oklahoma City wants to close out this series at home, they need more than just their star. They need J-Dub to snap out of his slump. They need energy from the bench. Because against the Nuggets, effort alone won't cut it. Execution will. Game 6 wasn't just a battle of talent, it was a battle of strategy, and Denver won it convincingly. Let's start with the most glaring difference. Execution in the half court. Denver's offense was humming. Ball movement, spacing, timing, everything was sharp and shots were falling. The Nuggets created high-quality looks, not through isolation, but through constant motion, unselfish passing, and smart reads. Whether it was Jokic operating from the top of the key, or Murray driving and kicking, Denver's ability to keep OKC's defense scrambling and hitting tough shots was key. This is what makes the Nuggets unique. With Jokic orchestrating from the high post or top of the key, they don't always need a traditional pick and roll game to generate good shots. They slice you apart with reads and reactions. And when Jamal Murray was initiating, even through sickness, the tempo stayed under control. Denver dictated the pace, not OKC. On the other end, Denver's defense had a clear objective: limit OKC's rhythm shooters, especially J-Dub and Isaiah Joe, and it worked. They switched intelligently, showed help on drives, and constantly forced the Thunder into late clock decisions. OKC shot just 27.5% from three, and many of those were either contested or rushed. More importantly, Denver's rebounding was locked in, out-rebounding the Thunder 61-45, which also resulted in 23 second-chance points to OKC's 9. Then there's the third quarter. That's where the game flipped. Denver went on a run led by Strawther and Braun, both of who pushed the pace and attacked mismatches. OKC looked flat coming out of the locker room, no urgency, no counterpunch, and Denver took full advantage. This is where playoff experience shows. The Nuggets know how to manage momentum. They don't panic, they don't force shots. They play with the calm that only comes from having been there before. That's where the Thunder still have growing to do. As talented as they are, this was their first true pressure test of the postseason, and it showed. And if Aaron Gordon's hamstring tweak becomes an issue, that could shift matchups once again. But in Game 6, Denver's scheme, energy, and composure were superior. They were the ones ready for war. And now, we're heading to the most dramatic stage in basketball, Game 7. The series goes back to Oklahoma City, where the Thunder will try to regroup and protect home court. But here's the thing, the Nuggets have been here before. Since Nikola Jokic arrived in Denver, the Nuggets are 4-2 in Game 7s. They've done it on the road, they've done it in the bubble, they've done it when no one believed in them. Jokic doesn't just survive Game 7s, he controls them. And now he's coming off 2 dominant performances with confidence and momentum on his side. Jamal Murray, he's one of the most clutch postseason guards of his generation, and with an extra 2 days to recover, he could be even more dangerous in Game 7. OKC, on the other hand, will need a response. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been excellent, but he can't do it alone. Chet Holmgren has shown growth, but Jalen Williams and the entire supporting cast have to rise to the moment. This is where legacies start, where stars become leaders, and where every possession, every rotation, and every loose ball matters. So, the stage is set. The Oklahoma City Thunder, young, fearless, and ahead of schedule, now face their toughest test yet. Can their rising stars rise again with their season on the line? Then there's the Denver Nuggets, experienced and battle-tested, have once again shown they won't go down without a fight. 2 teams, 1 game. A trip to the Western Conference Final at stake. Thunder, Nuggets, Game 7. No more second chances, just 48 minutes to decide everything. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our playoff coverage and beyond.